The toilet. Ubiquitous for all people who can afford to watch a video like this one in their free time. Taken at face value, they seem simple, maybe even boring. But you couldn't be more wrong.
Toilets. Did you notice if you traveled around the world how different they are?
And the differences in toilets reveal profound differences in culture. Europe and America are not the same, and neither are their toilets. We spend a crap ton of time on the toilet, but we spend even more time on our careers. This is your life in weeks if you're lucky enough to turn 80 years old, and this is the amount of time you'll spend working, 80,000 hours. It's also the name of today's sponsor, a nonprofit that wants to help you figure out what to spend all this time on. 80,000 Hours has been researching the question of how you can find a fulfilling career that also does good for years. They have a website that provides you all of their research, a podcast, and also a newsletter. They have a job board that provides hundreds of open listings that will help you have a higher impact. They also provide a lot of decision-making tools, such as their 8-week career planning course, and all of their advice and research is free, forever. So if you're not sure what you should do with your valuable time, maybe check out their completely free in-depth career guide at 80,000hours.org/fern. Remember, life is short, but what you do with your decreasing time is up to you. Humans consume food in order to collect nutrients, vital substances necessary for the human's ability to survive, grow, and reproduce. But humans do not absorb all their food, so waste they produce. As a solution, humans have made hardware that can dispose of waste more efficiently than themselves. And like a lot of technology, we produce different answers for the same problem. The solution for many Americans and Europeans is the flush toilet. An advanced machine commands water to direct waste towards a desired end, usually made up of a strong ceramic bowl. The principles behind all flush toilets, simple, but the differences between them, profound. In mainland Europe, the washdown toilet is more common, clearly taking inspiration from the older pole chain toilet. Although it was invented in England, it is often referred to as the French model because it became widely adopted there. Clean water from the tank pours directly into the bowl, pushing waste out. But in the US and the United Kingdom, you'll find the siphonic toilet. An S-shaped trapway creates a siphon that produces a vacuum which pulls waste out. American toilets literally suck. Reflecting American per capita water use, American siphonic toilets use more water than European washdown toilets. The vacuum mechanism requires a constant, minimal level of water. But since the European washdown toilet doesn't use a vacuum, it doesn't require a minimal level of water. This allows Europeans to equip their toilets with a dual flush, one integrated system for lighter loads and the other for heavier. The siphon mechanism also creates a higher tendency to clog. An S-shaped trapway is harder to maneuver than an R-shaped one. But have no fear, because the flushing power of a siphonic toilet can be increased by engineering a compression tank into the ceramic frame. Institutions that run into a much higher risk for clogs need a clog-free guaranteed flush. Now, some may think that a pressure tank is a bit overkill, because it kind of is, especially considering a clog-free alternative already existing in the European washdown toilet. But the washdown toilet isn't perfect. Reflecting European pretentiousness and the love for the smell of their own excrement, washdown toilets have a tendency to produce a worse odor. The siphonic toilet's additional water use means waste is practically always covered, insulating unpleasant smells. It also self-cleans better during every flush. But the washdown toilet becomes even more controversial when you're willing to venture into some old Dutch and German homes. There, you can still sometimes have the honor of sitting on the wash-out toilet, a different iteration of the wash-down toilet. An inspection shelf has been placed into the toilet frame.
The German toilets, the old type, Now they are disappearing, but you still find them. It's the opposite. The hole is in front. France, the hole of the toilet bowl is in the back. Anglo-Saxon world, United States, you get, the toilet bowl which is full of water so that...
According to Zizek, Hegel was one of the first to introduce the idea of a European trinity, embodied by German reflective thoroughness, French revolutionary hastiness, and English moderate pragmatism.
And my God, it did strike me, isn't this the key? In France, revolutionary approach. Hole for the sheet in the back, it should quickly be liquidated, like a kind of a guillotine. Anglo-Saxon, pragmatic, let it float, let's be rational. German, metaphysics and poetry. You observe it, you think, and so on.
But it goes even deeper. In 2016, the United Kingdom voted to leave the European Union, a nation's controversial decision to move closer to the Anglosphere. But Brexit was a surprise to no one who understood bathrooms. Although France and Germany may sometimes have different toilets, they can both be found in the same European stalls. The UK, on the other hand, has always served in a precarious position, divided between both America and Europe. It shares a toilet with the US, but no matter how hard they try to avoid it, British toilets are still found in European stalls. The standard American partition has around 30 centimeters of space between stall and ground, but the European partition, actually called the European-style partition by American partition companies, usually reaches the floor. This is weird, because there's a pretty lasting stereotype that Americans are more prudish than the average European. If you're less comfortable with being naked, the more private the stall, obviously, the better. So there had to be a deeper reason. According to one of the largest bathroom partition and restroom stall distributors in the United States, American stalls have always had a gap at the bottom and the top, meaning you can see someone's feet when a stall is occupied. This is a big issue for Europeans because they're used to enclosed stalls. At first glance, this may appear like a complete win for the European stall, but there's a reason why American stalls have this gap installed. Fucking bad writing. The company goes on to explain that the stalls are primarily designed for emergency service workers to access cubicles when someone is distressed. But this problem can easily be solved by the European-style partition by having master keys and even slight gaps. Surely there must be another reason why the American-style partition is so popular and widespread. So we dug even deeper. The American stall encourages people to do their business and avoid hanging around, which can benefit employers looking to enhance workers' productivity. And that's the answer. Americans log some of the longest work hours among industrialized nations, especially when compared with Europeans. The bathrooms are not designed to maximize the most convenient, pleasant bathroom experience, but to maximize raw output. America and Europe are not the same, and neither are their toilets.